My name is Douglas Alexander. I'm running as an independent in Wisconsin's 2nd Congressional District. Let's talk about the powers in the federal government, the Supreme Court, the Congress, the President. Which is the most powerful? I'm going to give you a little analogy, and we'll go from there. I want you to think of a family with maybe 4 or 5 kids, parents, grandparents. The oldest child, I'll call it a son, but it could be a daughter just as well. The oldest child is sort of the leader of the children. And when the children want to do something like, go out for ice cream or something like that, they typically will go to the oldest child. And then he'll go to the parents and ask, hey, could we do this? And maybe make a deal of we'll all do our chores, or we'll mow the lawn, we'll do some special thing if you'll take us out for a meal or for ice cream or something like that. Well, in this little analogy, who is the president? I'm going to suggest to you that the president is that oldest child. Who are the parents? They're Congress. Now, in some families, it's the wife that controls the checkbook and balances it, and in others, it's the father. I don't care which one, but whoever controls the checkbook is the House of Representatives, and the other is the Senate. Now, this may surprise you, but the fact of the matter is, Congress controls the money, and Congress makes the laws. And the executive, many of you know that the word execute means to carry out. So the executive branch carries out the laws that the legislative branch, which is Congress, have passed. And Congress has the right, if necessary, to impeach the president and kick him or maybe one day her out of office. And Congress has the power of oversight to check out what the executive branch is doing. And they can call the president or members of his cabinet in for questioning. Other bureaus that report to the executive branch, they're all under the authority, under the power of Congress. Now, we do have of course, the checks and balances, so that Congress passes the laws. They're not allowed to carry them out. And I won't go into all the different checks and balances, but a lot of people tend to think that the president is the really powerful person in our government. And it's understandable that some people think that, because when people run for president, they often exaggerate the authority that being in the office provides. And so, and this is a problem, and ideally the press, who's supposed to be the fourth estate of our government, will call candidates on this. And when they say these ambitious things, we'll just ask them, well, do you have the authority to do that? And anybody fact checking them would say, no, they don't really have the authority to do whatever. I haven't thought of any examples, but anything that the president says they're willing to do, will plan to do, we need to evaluate whether they even have the authority to do that. And often they don't. In this example of the kids wanting the family to take them out for dessert, if they say no, then what might the kids do? Go ask the grandparents, right? If you can get the grandparents on your side, it's probably going to happen. And so in this analogy, that's the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court cannot initiate laws. They have to be appealed to, just like grandparents are appealed to, basically. And they're hesitant, good grandparents are hesitant to get really involved in the nitty-gritty of what's going on with the family and parents and the kids and strife like that. They're just, ideally loving, supporting, whomever. But in our government, of course, the Supreme Court does have a lot of power to actually make a ruling when the Congress and the executive or some other agencies are at law with each other, in a suit with each other. But the Supreme Court cannot step in proactively and do anything like that. It has to be something that is appealed to the Supreme Court. Well, I don't know if you found this this helpful, but I just want to make sure a lot of people realize that the real power in our government is with Congress. And as some of you know, my big issue is trying to get term limits on Congress, because Congress has become dysfunctional. The rating of popularity rating, approval rating with Congress is under 20%. It's like 18% the last I knew. Almost everybody who's not specifically benefiting from Congress routing their company money is unhappy with the way that Congress is functioning. And we can change that. And we really need to. Thanks for listening.